All right then, Snowdon crew, Coach Matt, as promised, quick video just to go through the points that I brought up in the meeting today for the people that couldn't make the meeting. So I'm basically going to be reading off this sheet. So listen to the video, press pause now if you haven't got pen and paper ready. Although I am going to be putting up pictures of these sheets. Please bear in mind they're my crib notes and might not suit you. So you may need a pen and a paper to make notes on anything I just say. So press pause now, go and get pen and paper, and then come back, press play then. So I opened the meeting by basically saying that I'm not a guru, I'm not an orienteering type person, I'm not a mountain person. I've just organised a trip because some people have said they wanted to come, and the pointers that I'm going to give now are just some things I've learned during my 2 or 3 years of doing this. I also did go around the table to ask who's done a mountain before. Some have done a mountain, some have done a volcano, and I did ask them for their input as the meeting went on for their guidance as well. So, right, what I want to talk about first is the drive there, just in case you've never drove to Snowdon. So it's a 3.5 hour drive there if there's no traffic. That's the reason I go at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so I don't have to sit in traffic. So if you're travelling up on the Friday or you're travelling there on the day, you need to allow for the fact it's 3.5 hours if there's no traffic on the road. You may want to consider car sharing. So to keep fuel costs down and to have a bit of company on the way and on the way back. Reach out to people on the group, see who wants to lift share. What I did say to people is, if you're going for the weekend, you're going to have overnight bags and you're going to have your rucksack for the day and food and probably walking gear. You need to make sure whichever car you're going in, you've got room in the boot. So that's the drive done. I next shared some info about the actual mountain. We need to remember that Snowdon, we're doing a mountain walk. It's 1,000 metres up and 1,000 metres down. It's the highest mountain in England and Wales, and it's the second highest mountain in the UK. So if you're doing this, please bear in mind, you are climbing a mountain. At no point will you have to use your hands unless you choose to use your hands. It is a walk up a mountain, but it is a strenuous walk. If you Google how long it takes to go up Snowdon at the Llanberis path, which is the one that we're doing, they say anywhere between 5 and 8 hours to walk up and walk down. Excuse me. And they're quoting that it's 9 miles total there and back sort of distance. So 4.5 miles one way, 4.5 miles back, but obviously you're going up and downhill. There's a cafe halfway up. It's not guaranteed to be open. You're not guaranteed to get served because of the amount of people there. It's not guaranteed to be fully stocked. There's a cafe at the top. The website says it's been open summer 2023. Don't rely on it. I just don't know. Neither cafes have got toilets, although there may be toilets at the top one if they decide to open it. So in a nutshell, it's the highest mountain in England and Wales. It's 1,000 metres up, it's 1,000 metres down. It's going to take anywhere between 5 and 8 hours. It's a 9-mile walk and there's a lack of facilities of toilets. You're climbing a mountain at the end of the day. And there's different terrains. There's flat paths, stony paths, there's some loose stones and that sort of stuff. So I've covered the drive, I've covered the mountain. I want to cover you being ready to do a mountain walk now. Again, it's a mountain. It's 9 miles, you're going up and you're walking down, and some people find the walk harder coming down than they do going up. There's 2 different styles that you can do in the approach to it. You can train for the event by doing the warrior boot camps. I'm putting on some additional Saturdays, which I'm going to discuss in a minute. And I'm also going to be doing some randomised walks every now and again where I'll go, I'm off out for a walk. Does anybody want to come? So what I would sincerely and respectfully request is you need to practice walking. You need to go walking. You need to get your walking boots on with a backpack and you need to practice walking. You've got to get ready for this event. Having said that, I have seen people on the day, people that have just rocked up and they've winged it. They've rocked up with their trainers and their sliders on, and their vests and their caps, and they've just winged it on the day and they've just been fine. So you need to choose whether you're winging it on the day or whether you're going to put in some training time for it. Right, Your options for the day. You can choose one. You're walking up the mountain and you're walking down. That's option number 1. Option 2 and 3 involves the train. Now, there's a train that goes 3/4 of the way up. It doesn't go all the way up because apparently the last quarter, the track is being repaired. So if you want to facilitate and use the train, you can either buy a return ticket, which costs £32. The train will take you up. You get off. It gives you an hour to do whatever. And then you get back on the same train and it will take you down. So a return ticket, £32, take you up 3/4. You then got an hour to do the rest, get back, and then the train will take you down. Or you can get a single ticket where the train takes you up. You then have the responsibility to walk down. That's a single ticket, 3/4 of the way up, and that is £22. There is no option to just get the train down. Again, you cannot walk up and then get the train down. That is not an option that they are offering. So again, this is really important as part of your decision making. You're either walking up and walking down, you either train up and walk down, or you are getting a return ticket and you're getting train up, train down with an hour stop at the top. If you want tickets for that, the manager I spoke to this week is highly recommending you go on to Snowdon Mountain Railway, Google, find a website, and you can book the day and the time and the tickets of that. The chances of you being able to rock up at the train station on the day and get tickets are pretty much no. It's main season August Snowdon. So if you want to use the train at all, Snowdon Mountain Railway, book online. Next, I want to cover the plan for the day. Now, this is whether you're staying over or whether you're driving there on the day, doing the walking and driving back. The walk starts at the base of Snowdon at 8 a.m. For those that are staying in Llanberis or staying in the hotel where I am, we're either going to get cars or we're going to get a shuttle bus into the main area, but I'm going to sort that out closer to the time. But the walk will start at 8 o'clock. I won't be starting any later because it's going to be busy there that Saturday and we need to give ourselves a chance to have a real nice day. We're going to have a gentle plod up. We're going to stop regular for drinks and snacks and we're going to support each other as a team. Again, don't rely on the cafe halfway up. Don't rely on the cafe at the top. You need to be taking your own food and drinks and snacks and that with you, and I'm going to cover that shortly. One of the questions came up, will we all be sticking together or will groups separate off? I don't actually know because we've got an array of different abilities doing this war. If it ends up turning into 2 groups where there's a faster group and then a slower group, or an A and a B, or a 1 and a 2, that can be fine. Either way, nobody is going to get left on their own. I will not let that happen. The worst case scenario will be somebody can't keep up with any of the groups and I will walk with them all the way up and all the way down, no matter how long it takes. Nobody is going to get left alone. Having said that, when we're all walking together and we're supporting each other, and if there's groups sort of break off and we end up doing whatever, as adults, we need to remember that we're climbing a mountain. If at any point somebody decides they're not continuing the walk, they have got to be prepared to turn around and walk back down and then they meet the rest of the group later. As adults, that needs to be an option. That if someone gets so far and goes, I can't do any more of this, they have got to be prepared to walk down on their own. So we're going to have a gentle stroll up, we're going to get to the summit, we're going to have regular breaks. What I did cover is at the top of the mountain is something called a trig point. It's a gold disc where you have your photo board to go, yay, I'm on the top of the mountain. The queue for that on the Saturday can be up to an hour and a half, an hour, 2 hours. What's more important for our Snowdon adventure is that we all get up to the summit area. Don't rely on the fact that you'll be able to touch the trig point or the golden disc and go, yeah, it's going to be busy. The more important part of this is us travelling as a group up the mountain to the summit. You will still be able to see the trig point and the golden disc, but don't rely on actually be able to put your hand on it and go, yay, I'm at the actual peak. It may be too busy, it may be not, I don't know. I've covered the train and I've covered at any point if people need to turn back, that's that. Right, things, ideas of what to bring with you. This is just a list, this is what I've developed over the years. You may have your own list. You definitely need to consider walking boots, but if you want to wear trainers, then do that. I can highly recommend walking boots. I can highly recommend walking socks. Normal socks will give you blisters. Whatever clothes you're wearing, t-shirts, shorts, trousers, they need to be breathable. For temperature management of the body sweats, that's part one. Part two is the sweat evaporating off the body. You've got to be wearing breathable clothes, and they're labelled as breathable on the labels. You need to go to Blacks or Sports Direct or something. Make sure you got walking boots, make sure you got breathable kit. Bear in mind, it's going to be August. Potentially, it could be a real hot one, but it could be cool at the top. So you need to consider layers, putting different layers in your bag as well. You need to consider a hat or a cap so you're not getting sunburns. You need to consider sunglasses if you're sensitive to the sun. Remember, you're 1,000 meters closer to the sun, it's a lot brighter. You may want to consider the Nordic walking poles that some people use. You're going to have to Google that, and Nordic walking poles. I don't use them, but some people may want the option. It helps keep your body upright as you're going up, and it helps keep your body upright as you're walking down as well. You need a rucksack. Not a cross-the-shoulder bag or a carrier bag. You've got to be wearing a rucksack to spread the weight of everything you're carrying throughout the body, and it's nice and comfortable. So a rucksack. You need food, sweets, water. A question came, what kind of food should we have? It needs to be instant energy food. Easy. Sandwiches, flapjacks, bits of cake, Haribos, eclairs, licorice all sorts, sweets. As you're going up, you're burning calories. You need to be able to easily pop some energy in, pop some energy in, pop some energy. It shouldn't be anything complicated. And take your favourite food to eat at the top, like your favourite sandwich and crisps and all that, or nuts or whatever. But take bags of sweets with you. It's nice and easy. It's going to keep your energy up. You need lots of drink. Maybe a small pack of tissues in case you get a runny nose. You definitely need sun cream, either on or spare in your bag as well. You may want to consider gloves. It may be 25 degrees at the bottom. It might only be 5 degrees at the top. Who knows what it's going to be like. You definitely need some spare socks in case your socks get totally soaking wet with sweat and they start rubbing your toes. You may also want to consider some spare laces for your boots. I've had a particular one occasion where my laces broke on my boots and I was walking down with one boot basically hanging off, and it created some difficulties. Consider Vaseline to put in between your toes in case you get blisters. Consider plasters. Consider bringing money in your bag. So if the calf's open halfway or at the top, you can pay by card, but in the mountains, the Wi-Fi can be a bit iffy and it doesn't always work. There's nothing worse than trying to buy an ice cream. The card machine's not working, you haven't got any cash, and you can't have your cold ice cream. Consider putting some cash in your bag as well. I'm going to cover this, hopefully we won't need them. Consider waterproof bottoms and a waterproof coat. Also consider, if you've got any kind of joint problem and you have any pain relief, like ibuprofen, paracetamol or anything like that, consider packing painkillers. It's going to be nothing worse for you if you get up to the top, your joints are in a load of pain, and then you've got another 4 hours to walk down. Rob from the group that was there today, he suggested some insect repellent. Midges are high at that time of year and it's going to stop us getting eaten to death. So, last thing to cover now is training over the coming months. I am going to be putting on roughly one outdoor boot camp every monthly, every Saturday. It's going to be 8:30 till 9:15, Dorden Park. I'm going to call them Snowdon specific boot camp. They're going to be leg only sessions. They're going to be building leg power, leg strength, leg endurance to get us ready for Snowdon. But also the rest of the Warrior crew are going to be invited. As extra sessions. If you are going to Snowdon and you do the additional monthly sessions that I put on outdoors, please wear training gear, your walking boots, your walking socks, any outdoor gear. You've got to get your body used to walking and training in that gear, so on the day it's as comfortable as possible. So once a month I'm going to put on an outdoor boot camp, which is going to be a leg only session to get our legs ready for Snowdon. Also at random points I'll be putting on the group, I'm going for a walk on this day between this time and this time. Would anybody like to come with me? And that's going to be that's just going to be as and when I can fit it into my schedule. If you are interested in doing the outdoor boot camps, the leg only sessions, which is monthly to get us ready for Snowdon, the first one is going to be the 20th of May, and I will put a reminder on the group to everybody for doing that. Finishing off with questions that came up. There was a question about what should we have for breakfast before we go at the hotel. What I found really useful to have is what I call a solid breakfast. Egg on toast or some sort of breakfast sandwich or something. I don't tend to have what I call a sloppy breakfast, porridge or cereal, because I'm always remembering there's no toilets on the mountain. So I'm limiting my liquid, how much I'm putting in on the day, because I know I'm going to be drinking lots of water throughout the day. Another question that came up, are we all going to be walking together or will we be splitting up into groups? I've already covered that. If groups naturally involve, that's how it works because of different abilities, but nobody's going to get left on their own. I will not allow that. Last question, what do we do about recovery after? I'll be covering that closer to the time, but the recovery starts at the bottom of the mountain with your first pint of cider, lager or gin and tonic. Nice burger or hot dog and a rest of the evening, and then I'll cover what to do with recovery regarding cold showers, hot showers and all that sort of stuff. Right, that's about as short as I can keep it. I can see it's 17 minutes. I hope you found that useful. I look forward to seeing you in the next meeting or the next training session. Love you all loads. See you soon, Snowdon crew.